Welcome to our deep dive into a piece of classic Chinese literature. We're going to be exploring a short prose piece titled A Night Stroll at Cheng Tian Temple. It was written by the renowned Song Dynasty poet and official Su Shi.
Right.
Though you might know him better by his pen name, Su Dongpo.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll be working with the original Chinese text, a modern translation, and some commentary to help us understand it.
Now I know what you might be thinking.
Okay.
I don't speak Chinese. How can I possibly connect with this?
Yeah.
But trust me, the story and insights in this piece are so powerful. They really do transcend language barriers.
For sure.
We're going to take you back to October 12th, 1083.
Wow.
Imagine over 900 years ago.
Okay.
Picture Su Shi,
Yeah.
restless, unable to sleep with moonlight streaming through his door.
And it's this moonlight that prompts him to go for a walk. But it's not just the moonlight, is it? Su Shi was often demoted due to political disagreements.
Right.
He was, at this point in time, considered an idle person by the court.
So he's not just looking for some fresh air.
Right.
He's yearning for connection, for someone who understands his perspective on the world.
Yeah.
He even mentions in the text that he wished for a companion for his walk.
He specifically seeks out his friend, Zhang Huaimin, at Cheng Tian Temple.
Okay.
And luckily for Su Shi, his friend is also sleepless.
What are the chances? Two friends both drawn out into the night by a shared need for company and contemplation.
It almost feels orchestrated, doesn't it? They begin walking in a temple courtyard bathed in moonlight.
Yeah.
And Su Shi's description of the scene is where his mastery of language truly shines.
Okay.
He describes the courtyard as a pool of clear water, with the shadows of bamboo and cypress trees looking like algae and water plants floating in it.
It's so vivid. You can practically feel the stillness and peacefulness of that moment.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, have you ever felt such a sense of peace in such a simple setting?
And this is where the deep dive really begins.
Okay.
We have bamboo cypress trees and moonlight,
Yeah.
ordinary everyday things.
Right.
But through Su Shi's eyes and his masterful use of imagery, they become almost magical.
He doesn't stop there. He asks two thought-provoking questions.
Okay.
What night is without moon? What place is without bamboo and cypress?
The answer, of course, is none.
Right.
But it's the way he phrases it that makes you pause and think.
And then he hits us with this incredibly insightful observation, which I think is at the heart of this entire piece.
Okay.
It is only that there are few idle people like us too.
Now, this is where things get interesting.
Oh.
On the surface, he seems to be simply stating that few people have the time to appreciate such simple beauty.
Right.
But it goes much deeper than that when we consider his social context.
Exactly.
Remember, Su Shi was considered an idle person by the court because of his demotions.
Yes.
This word idle, translated from the Chinese concept of zian, doesn't simply mean inactive.
Okay.
It encompasses a deeper meaning of refined leisure, a deliberate appreciation for nature and art.
So when Su Shi calls himself and his friend idle people, there's a hint of melancholy there.
Right.
He's acknowledging that his idleness is seen as a negative by society, but he's also subtly celebrating it. He's suggesting that this very idleness allows him to experience a depth of beauty and connection that others miss.
That's a good point.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much do we miss because we're constantly rushing caught up in the busyness of life?
It's a question that resonates even more strongly in our modern world.
Right.
Think about it. How often do you find yourself glued to your phone, scrolling through social media?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of actually looking up at the moon or noticing the play of light and shadow around you?
Yeah, it's almost like we've lost the ability to just be, haven't we?
Precisely. And this is what Su Shi is prompting us to reconsider. He's not saying we should all quit our jobs and wander around moonlit courtyards all day.
Right.
But he is suggesting that we need to carve out space in our lives for what he calls idle time.
This idle time is not about being lazy. It's about being present, being mindful.
Right.
It's about creating space for contemplation and connection.
Remember that tiny flower pushing up through the crack in the sidewalk?
Oh, yeah.
That moment of unexpected beauty that you shared earlier?
Oh, absolutely. It was like a mini revelation. And it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't, for a moment, allowed myself to simply be, to look around and see what was right in front of me.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of Su Shi's message. He's reminding us that these moments of wonder are available to all of us all the time.
Okay.
We just need to cultivate the perspective, the idleness, to actually see them.
It's like we need to retrain our brains to notice the extraordinary in the ordinary.
And this brings us to another fascinating aspect of Su Shi's writing, his use of rhetorical questions.
Okay.
He doesn't just describe the moonlit courtyard. He asks us to consider it, to engage with it on a deeper level.
He's challenging us to think differently, isn't he?
Exactly. He doesn't simply tell us what to think. He invites us to think alongside him. And this is what makes his work so timeless and engaging, even across centuries and cultures.
It also highlights the power of literature to not only entertain, but to teach us something profound about ourselves and the world around us.
Absolutely. Think about it. We're unpacking a text written over 900 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's still speaking directly to our lives today. That's the mark of a truly great piece of writing.
So as we approach the end of our deep dive, how can we take these insights from Su Shi's moonlit walk and apply them to our own lives?
Well, I think Su Shi offers us a powerful challenge. A challenge to find moments of idle time in our own busy schedules.
To step away from the screens, to quiet the mental chatter, and to simply be present in the world around us. It's easier said than done, though, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Our lives are so full of distractions and demands.
Yeah, it is a challenge. But even small moments can make a difference.
Yeah.
Imagine stepping outside for 5 minutes during your lunch break and just noticing the sky, the trees, the sounds around you.
Or putting down your phone an hour before bed and spending that time reading a book.
Yeah.
Listening to music, or simply having a conversation with someone you care about.
These seemingly insignificant moments of idle time can actually be incredibly restorative. They allow us to reconnect with ourselves, with our surroundings, and ultimately with what truly matters.
I'm reminded of Su Shi's closing line in A Night Stroll at Cheng Tian Temple.
Oh, yeah.
He writes about how he and his friend enjoyed their moonlit walk, and then simply went back to their rooms and slept soundly. It's such a simple ending, yet it speaks volumes.
Exactly. It highlights the fact that finding these moments of Nietzschean, of refined leisure, of mindful appreciation, doesn't require grand gestures or elaborate plans. It can be as simple as taking a walk in the moonlight or noticing a flower pushing up through the pavement.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Su Shi's world, I want to leave you with this thought. What if this week you made a conscious effort to find those little pockets of idle time?
What would you notice about your surroundings, about yourself, about the world, if you gave yourself the space to simply be?
We've uncovered a powerful message in Su Shi's seemingly simple prose, a message that transcends time and culture.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a message about slowing down, appreciating beauty, and finding connection in unexpected places.
And who knows, maybe you'll even find your own moonlit moment waiting just around the corner.
Until next time, may your days be filled with a little more wonder and your nights with a little more peaceful sleep.